Hey guys, welcome back to GWiz Academy. So in this video, we are going to learn about Boolean type of data. Basically, data types under which we have a category. If you remember, under data types, we have a category called as Boolean type of data, right? So what is this Boolean types of data? What exactly does this mean? Before that, let's revise a concept that computers only think in the basis of ones and zeros, in the sense binary terms itself. Either it is yes or no, true or false. Based on this logic itself, no matter what big program we write, everything boils down to this thing that either you should do or not do. The computer doesn't understand our programming language, right? They understand only binary language. So they think in computers can only understand commands given in zeros and ones. So whatever program we write, it will ultimately boil down to zeros and ones, and then the processing will happen and stuff like that. You already know about this. So how is it relevant to this Python programming language? In Python program, every expression in Python, every expression will return either true or false. Let's see some cases. If the expression is mathematical, as you know, Python is intelligent enough to do maths over the fly. Over the fly in the sense, right away we can do mathematics or some logic, some basic logics using operators. We can implement it. I'll show you how. Let's say print 10 is greater than 5. 10 is greater than 5. So we know that 10 is greater than 5, but does the Python understands whether 10 is greater than 5? If yes, then it will return true. Then if it is false, then it should return false. Okay, so what am I doing now? Basically 10 is greater than 5. This is our expression. This is a mathematical expression. 10 is greater than 5. Whether it is true or not, how will Python interpret it correctly or not? Let's see. How to know whether this Python programming is understanding whether it is returning true or false? We will need to use a function called as print for that, right? We'll put it inside print here. And now if we save this code and try to run this code, we should be getting a value called as true. See, so computer understands, computer in the sense programming, this our program understands, Python understands that 10 is greater than 5. Okay, if you say it will return true for all, let's try with print 10 is less than 5. Let's see what our program returns. It should return false. See, it is false. 10 is not greater than 5, so it is returning false. So the concept is, let's say if print 10 is equal to 5. Don't worry about this triple equal to, what does this mean and all those things. We'll see that, we'll explore this in our next chapters. But for now, just assume that 10 is equal to 5. I'm just telling Python that 10 is equals to 5 or equivalent to 5. Whether Python understands it or not, let's see. Let's save it, run the code. Syntax error. Okay, let's do this. Save it, run the code again. Now, even if I tell Python that 10 is equals to 5, Python understands that it is not true, so it returns us false. And same way, if I say print 10 is equal to 10, then let's see, save it and process it, run the command, it's true, right? So what is happening is these expressions, 10 is greater than 5, 10 is less than 5, 10 is equal to 5, 10 is equal to 10, these are the expression. For mathematical expression, Python will return if it is either true or false. Definitely it will return. If we don't print it, still Python will know that whether it is true or not. We are printing it out, that's why we are able to see it here, what it thinks. Same way, for if the expression is non-mathematical, still Python will return true or false. Still Python will return true or false. True if the parameter has a value and false if parameter is empty, right? So what does this exactly mean? Let's see with some examples. So what is this text? If the expression is non-mathematical, still Python will return true or false. True if the parameter has a value, and false if a parameter does not have a value. So for that, what we need to do is, let's say x is equals to Rakesh. This is a string. And y is equals to 25. This is a number. Okay. I need to ask Python that is x true or false. How do I ask Python that whether x is true or false? For that, we have a function called as use function called as bool. This will evaluate if the expression is true or false. We have a built-in function called as bool that will evaluate whether x is true or y is true. This you can use it if the expression is non-mathematical. If it is mathematical, then obviously if it is true, then it will show true or false. But here there is no mathematical relations or something like that, right? So whether to identify whether if x is true or y is true or false or whatever it is, we use bool function. How to use it? It's as simple as that. Just use bool, initiate this bool function and put x inside this. That's it. And let me simply comment these things above. Print. Okay. Now if you save it and run this program, we shouldn't get any output. Let's see. The code ran and the code is completed, but we did not see any output. What is this bool function doing is it is evaluating, but it is not showing it to us. To make Python show it to us, we need to use a function called as print. Wrap it up and use a function called as print the output and show it to us. Don't just assume it, show it to us. So now if we run, as you can see, yes, bool x is true. And what about print bool y? Bool y. Let's save it. Let's run this code and see. Yes, obviously this is true as well. But what if, let's say z or z, and it does not have any value, it is empty. Okay, so now what if I want to check whether it is true or false? Bool z or z. Now save it and run the code. You scroll down, true, true and false, true, true and false. This is true. This prints true because x is having some value in it, right? So same way, this expression y is also returning true because y is having some value in it. Here, if you see, this prints false because z is empty. You got my point? So same way, there are some, this gets applied to lists or tuples or dictionaries. You don't have to worry what exactly is this list or tuples or dictionaries and all those things. We can create much complex functionalities or logic. We can write very complex logic based on these parameters. If we can tell program that if it is true, do this, if it is false, do this, right? Some kinds of logic. Let's say for just an example, first point is this rule is valid for lists, tuples, dictionaries, and we call it as dict or dictionaries, and arrays, etc. as well. And we can build a strong logic. based on Boolean values. How is it possible? I'll give you a very small example. Let's say a is equals to 10, b is equals to 15. What is a and b? They are two variables, right? Okay, fine. Now I'll just give you an example of a very small program. Okay, you don't have to worry about how to write this program and all those things, but yeah, just understand, because I just said, right, we can create logic by using this Boolean answers. So I'll give you a small example so you can simply understand it for now. Later on, once we start exercises and all those things, then you will clearly understand these things. Now let's see, if a is having 10 and b is having 15. Now I'll write a logic, simple logic. What is the logic? If a is greater than b, then print a is greater than b. You tell me whether a is greater than b or not. A is smaller than b, but I am telling the program, I don't know the value of a and b. I just know that there is two variables called as a and b. So I'll tell a program that if a is greater than b, tell me that a is greater than b, else print b is greater than a. Or let's say, no, a is smaller than b, right? Both are same thing. So let me save it. And how to write this if and else condition, don't worry about it, we will go through that in our further videos. But for now, what you need to understand that I am using this Boolean expression, if a is greater than b, in the sense, if it is true, then print this. If it is false, else, then print this as no, a is smaller than b. We are basically using Boolean expression and if else statement to create this particular program. So that is what is working in the behind. So let me save this whole thing and run this code, and let's see. So what is the output? Output is no, a is smaller than b. No, a is smaller than b. So this is how I can clearly understand. If someone gives me that, if someone says that identify which number is greater out of two variables a and b, and they don't tell me whether a is greater or b is greater, so simply what I'll do, I'll write this logic and program will tell me whether the a is bigger or b is bigger. So this is extremely helpful right now, because we have just two values. We can clearly understand that without program also we can clearly understand whether a is bigger or b is bigger. But what if we have 10 million numbers? What if we have 20 million numbers? So at that time we can't sit and keep on counting each number, and we can observe each number, right? It is not human readable. In those cases we can write some logics like this based on this Boolean data type. Then we can clearly, program will do work for us. So don't worry, don't get overwhelmed by all these things. Just understand that whatever the expression it is in Python, it will return either true or false. So based on true or false result, we can write complex programs as well, right? So once we start examples or once we start writing exercises or programs, then you will clearly understand all these concepts. For now, it's just that you should be knowing this fact that Python will return true or false for all the expression. If the mathematical expression is true, then it is true. If it is false, then it is false. For normal expressions, if the parameter has some value, then it will return true. If the parameter is empty, then it will return false. That's it. That is all you need to understand for now, right? So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. We will see you in the next video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section, right? Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.